Hare Krishna. Omagyantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This is a very interesting chapter because as such Sukadeva Goswami answered Maharaj Parikshit's question. He gave the answer was complete. That means it ends the conversation, but he is not convinced that especially for us that we have understood. That's why he goes for the next chapter, which is a very interesting chapter because Sukadeva Goswami said that you just have to listen about Krishna. Is clear in the first chapter and second chapter also. He made it very clear in the last two verses. Also, he made it very clear that there is no other purpose. A person who is living his body, he just have to remember Krishna, chant his names. Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaro Hari Shrotabhya Kirtitavyasya. But he feels that it is not sufficient. That's why he goes further. And now here in this chapter, he start explaining how people with different goals, they approach different demigods. This is a very interesting chapter because he has already finished the answering. But now he says, okay, they worship Indra. There are people who want healthy offsprings. They want to worship Prajapatis. They want to worship. Now we'll see Uma and all. There are many things, but acharyas don't give an explanation. Some places even Prabhupada did not translate also. He didn't take anything seriously. But we'll see very interesting what all benefits you get by worshipping which demigod. And they're really powerful. So how it happens is, we discussed also that these demigods are empowered and they have certain abilities. Now, can they change our karma? This is the question. Can demigods change our karma? How they are able to give? Say somebody is not getting married, he worships and then he gets married. So did they change karma? And they say somebody is not getting job, he is not healthy, he worships Surya and he is not getting a job. He worships certain demigods for health, he worships, and for good being, he worships Maru. So similarly, so much list is there. Now, do they change karma? No, they cannot change karma. Only a person who can change karma is Krishna. Then what do demigods do? How they do fulfill? Not only demigods, even now so-called gods of our earth also. In India especially, we have many gods. Now they are also able to fulfill the desires of many people. How they are able to do it? So basically what they are doing, they are preponing or postponing the karma. So somebody is suffering now, he can, with their ability, the demigods, they can postpone what they are getting now and they can prepone what they have to get in future. That is how they can do. But karma can be changed on karma ni nirdhati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. Only Krishna can work, Krishna can change our karma. No other. They only can prepone or postpone it. Like say somebody is not getting married and no, there are some pujas you have to go. And they will see that okay, there are some doshas. Doshas means basically you are supposed to do certain rituals in the past life, but it is not done. Then what they do, there is prayaschita. Then you have to go to all the Shiva temples. You have to go to Rameshwaram. You have to go to Ujjain. You have to go to Kashi. Like there are few places you have to go, and then you perform the abhishekam for the Lord. Not very expensive, but the travel is expensive. It's some dakshina to pujari. And it happens, and I have seen also people doing it, and they are getting these things happen immediately within 1 month, 2 months, finish. Their karma is nullified. Especially doshas are nullified, not karma. Their karma, they will get it in a different way. Means that same suffering they may get in a different way, but doshas can be nullified. They have done certain doshas, then they can work on this abhishekam for the demigod and pray to them. They will nullify that doshas and help the living entities. But there are so many other things, and So here Sri Sukha Vacha, we'll see different demigods and different benefits. Evam etan nigaditam prastavan yad bhavan mama nrinam yan mriyamanana manusheshu manishinam. Sukadeva Goswami says, so he's continuing that. Maharaj Parikshit, as you inquired for me as the duty of the intelligent person who is in the threshold of death, so I have answered you. So that means he has completed the question. And Prabhupada writes very nicely, in human society, all over the world, there are millions and billions of men and women. And of course, even these black magics and there are some tantrics, that is also working like that. They have some spirits, they have some energies, and they may it's not that they will lose their power when they share with others, but some cases they may lose their powers also. These people, they do some japa meditations, they gain some power, and then they help them fulfill the desires. Even they don't know how the desires get fulfilled, the so-called yogis and all, because they had some power, because they say, and it will not get fulfilled for all, but it will get fulfilled for some people. If they have little less karma, they go to the less bad karma, they go to this tantrics, they go to this astrologers, they go to some gurus, babas who give some ashirwad, and they have some power, they have done something, and it helps them to get fulfilled also. But we should know one thing very sure that in the end of this chapter, not in the end, almost in after end of this section, Sukadeva Goswami makes very clear, because the happiness is not in fulfilling desires. See, if you understand this one point, then this chapter is very clear. Happiness is not in fulfilling desire. Happiness is in purifying the heart. If heart is pure, no matter wherever we are, whatever situation we are, we can remain happy only. It is not that because I am rich or poor. I may be rich, and if I am very envious person of everything, and I am very irritative person, I am very short-tempered person, I am a very rich and very miserable person. I may be just a very simple, we are living with simple facilities, but our heart is very pure. You are always happy and blissful. Whatever you get, oh, today I am getting nice hot prasadam of Krishna. And you are so ecstatic eating some rice dal sabji only. You don't have 10 varieties to eat. But even the 2 varieties you eat with so much gratitude and happiness, and you are so happy. So the point is, the happiness is not in fulfilling desire. Happiness is in purifying. If we know this, then we will not have any problem with this. Hearing the descriptions. Are yaar, such a beautiful body you get if you worship. You'll never become old. Mata will be very happy. I'll never become old if I worship Uma, and you'll have nice progeny if you worship Prajapati. And big list is there. It will come. The point is what? Our happiness is proportionate to purity of heart. Purity of heart comes when our heart is associated with Krishna, when Krishna enters our heart. And how it is? Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. If we are chanting Hare Krishna, our heart is pure, that's all. Like now people say, Hare, they got big position in ISKCON, they are big leader, this leader, that leader. They may be leader, but if they are working on purifying the heart, then only they will be happy. That is what is our aspiration should be. It's not externally what position, because you may be materially talented, you can go up in the this ladder of management and all. But what matters is how much you are waking up in the morning, how much you are working on chanting. That is what will tell you how much happy you will be in spiritual life. If you are waking up early morning and chanting holy name without offending Vaishnavas, without committing any other offenses, no criticizing, not hearing criticism, we are safe. all other anarthas, Krishna will purify. He says, okay, you are doing your part, I will do my part. Krishna will take care that he will purify the heart. What we have to work is, we are hearing Bhagavatam, we are chanting the holy name, not committing any offenses, because that is the holy name is so powerful, Bhagavatam is so powerful, but why we don't make progress is because offenses. If we don't commit offenses and we start doing this, That's all. Our heart is pure, we are happy. All these list of things which are given in this chapter will not bother much. Akama sarvakamava mokshakam udardi tivrena bhakti yogena ijata purushaparam. That is the conclusion of this section. But before that, there is list, and this is a very interesting thing because Yamimam pushpitam vacham prabhavanti vipashyatah vedavadarata partha nane tatsiti vadanaha. Because this pushpitam vacham, Vedas, they give so much of this advertisement. And people are caught up with this advertisements. Now they don't need to read Vedas. They can just sit in front of internet and TV. All the advertisements are coming in a different way. But previously it was just heard from the Vedas and they say, yes, I will make it to heaven. And these yogis, what they do, they try to prolong their life in an artificial way. They want to live long so that they can fulfill all different types of desires in different planets of this universes. And they want to enjoy in a much subtler way. That's why they are controlling the breath so that they can prolong their existence in this material world. But at the end, that is what is last part of this chapter is telling. Are Brahma saw all these things. He has seen all these yogis prolonging and enjoying. And at the end, after reading 3 times all the Vedas, he came to the conclusion, it's all waste. Just go to spiritual world, purify the heart, go to spiritual world. That gives the maximum benefit. No need of all these going to different planets. It's all waste of time. That is whose conclusion? Brahma with his forehead, that is his conclusion. So then why to waste our time? We may also get tempted. Ares, Krama Mukti looks quite interesting than Sadhya Mukti, right? Because he is doing everything. Right? He is enjoying here also and then going back. So what is the point? it makes, but somebody is directly going. So how does? But the person who is going for Sadhya Mukti, he is considered more intelligent than Krama Mukti. Because that's what is Sukadeva Goswami is concluding. Don't waste time all these things. Because once this person, this Deva Mukti, when he sees a Paramatma in the heart, immediately gets attracted. He said, yeah, that does not make any sense in this world. Let me go. And some they may go to a spiritual world also. So here, this is understanding. Now, Sukadeva Goswami knows that many of the living entities, they'll not do any yogas and all, but they may be interested in enjoying. And he will going to list out nice, interesting things. We can have the list of it. Many will be tempted also that, this looks very interesting. And they also try. If we don't have Shastra Shraddha, then only we get caught up with these things. After coming to ISKCON also, many people, they are caught up with yoga, pranayama, we discussed yesterday, all this varnashram and all these things, they are caught up with sattvic diets and so many other astrology and Sanskrit and so many things, because they have not read Shastra properly. If we read from our acharyas clearly, Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and all, then we'll not lose our pure devotional faith. That's why we need Shastra Shraddha and Shastra Yukti also very nicely. Then we'll not get affected. That is the reason we have to read it very nicely. Initially, many comes, they all have pure devotional faith, but they don't stay that because that is not based on Shastra. That is the reason we have to read Shastra, but from proper person also. And otherwise, after 20 years, 20 years senior, 25 years senior, but does not matter only. After 25 years senior, he is more into Ayurveda, more into yoga, pranayama, varnashrama, so many other things, Sanskrit and dharma and all. What is the point? Not read only. So we'll see. That is the Prabhupada purpose. We have to read properly. And we should not associate with any other outside books, outside people. It is very, very detrimental and it affects our faith very badly. No need to hear from any people outside. No, don't hear any lectures which are not based on pure devotional faith. Don't read, don't hear any books. We just have Bhagavatam and whatever Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur wrote. Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, that's what is Rupa Goswami, that's what is we needed. No, we should not read only books. We should not hear also They may be very, very charismatic speakers, especially nowadays because of social media. We get so many in state to state initiated devotees put other outside speakers, not even Gaudiya Vaishnava speakers. They are putting on this Baba, that Baba. That is not actually correct. We should not hear from them because that will affect our Shastra Shraddha. We may say, wow, he is giving such a nice explanation, such a nice talk, but it is not going to nourish our pure devotional faith. They may be very great, exalted people, but it is going to affect our faith, and it will damage. It's very risky. Not to, we should not hear, even though it is very promising. They are all distractions. We should be very careful. If we are not reading and hearing from proper person, we are at risk all the time because we are very. Our intelligence is not. If it is strongly rooted in Shastra and you have read it, and then when you hear them, there is not a problem because you can take some essence from it and you will be peaceful. Otherwise, we get carried away. That is, we should not be overconfident also because they are very powerful people. Prabhupada is there that time. Directly, Prabhupada, nobody could beat Prabhupada other than Acharya. But now, these people, they also have some charisma on personal level, they have that power. We should not take risk. Don't hear from any outsiders. Uh, Even don't keep at least in status and hear from them. Always be very careful in whom we are hearing. And if you are hearing this morning classes, Prabhupada Purport and Vishnu Chakra Thakur and Balram Shakti Pro is very clear. If you don't, just no need to go to any any other people. Just listen from this morning section because Prabhuji is very much focused. It will help all of you. That's a small suggestion from my side. And true also, you'll go back to God and you'll go back on like this only. You just have to read and hear from Prabhupada and just chant. No need to do any other gymnastics because all the knowledge is given by our acharyas sufficiently. No need to hear from outsiders because they don't read from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They are not quoting from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So why we should read them? They are not quoting Rup Sanatan Goswami. Why we should read them? They are speaking their realization, but that is not helpful for us. We have to get the realization. See, if Sukadeva Goswami have to give Bhagavatam class, he will give this. And Prabhupada Bhagavatam class we are getting. And Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami Bhagavatam classes we are getting through their literature. Just follow that. Why we need to have any other outside rasa? We may, because people look for nectar, that's why they go for all these things. Because they speak nicely, they give new stories, new this, new that. We don't need new. We need as it is. Then we'll not have problem. If we have this enjoying mentality, the buddhi, why it is getting contaminated even in relationships also, especially in this spiritual, these things also, because the buddhi, the lust is there in senses, mind and buddhi, manas and buddhi. So this buddhi's lust, that only makes us deviated. To hold it, we have to read Shastra very nicely. Otherwise, we will, the lust in our buddhi, it will make us look nectar here, there. Maybe this classes I will search. You go YouTube and start hearing some other nectarian classes from here. No need of nectar. We want truth. We are searching for truth, not for pleasure. We have to work hard. When we are sitting in front of Bhagavatam and we are hearing, we should be in a mood. Let me serve. Let me work hard to understand. When that mood is there to work hard, then we'll not have problem. If I'm saying, oh, what is the new nectar? What is the new thing? If a desire to enjoy is there, then we are trapped. That is the contamination in our buddhi. No, I'm not going to get any nectar. I'm going to serve and I'm going to get blessing and mercy. I want to receive mercy and I want to understand it properly. I want to work hard to understand. That is our endeavor we make and Krishna will reciprocate. If that is our mood, then we are safe. Otherwise, it's not safe. It's risky because that's what initially relationships they're very pure. Initial marriage for first 3 months, everything is nice because that is there is no expectations. But because the lust is there in the intelligence, then this expectation starts coming and everything changes. Similarly, our buddhi, this especially with our initially. Many people will join, but after that they start searching for nectars and then they are finished. Not to be careful. We don't want nectar. We want to serve. We want to understand. We want to work hard. then there is no. Even in chanting also, we always, when we sit for chanting, the mood should be, let me work hard to chant nicely. The hard working tendency should be always utilized in spiritual life. It is not any relaxation. Okay, let me relax. Now, okay, now sit and enjoy. No, it's not like that. We should be eager to serve, and even chanting also, we should be in that mood. Let me work. It is not for lazy people, spiritual life. Like that. We have some few important points from the purport, which I wanted to share. Prabhupada writes, in human society all over the world, there are millions and billions of men and women, and almost all of them are less intelligent because they have very little knowledge of spirit soul. This is the first thing. Like even many spiritual organizations, they have so-called spiritual organizations, they have so many followers because they don't go to the level of mind. They are teaching till the level of manas. So it is on a mental level. It's not on a spiritual level. Please understand. Don't. It is solution. It will give temporary solution. I don't deny it. People get relieved from their so much sufferings, but it is not going to change the heart. That is the point. Like they go to Vipassana yoga, they have this all these meditations and all. People go there and they get relieved from their sufferings also, and they give really nice solutions. But it is not going to purify the heart. Then what is the main thing is they will teach how to enjoy only in this world. And they say you want to enjoy, be selfless, be kind, be nice, be kind, and all these things. This is what they teach. And but what happens is with that, you will live a sattvic life and you can enjoy in this world. Not purify the heart. It is not possible. So almost all of them have a wrong conception of life, for they identify themselves as gross and settled material bodies, which they are not in fact. They may be situated in different high and low positions in the estimation of human society, but no one should know definitely that unless one inquires about his own self beyond the body and mind, all his activity in human life are total failures. I will explain about other organizations. People go, they feel difference and they feel very calm. All these things we will discuss some other time more detailed about how to understand other organizations. They are not completely bogus. They work, but they work to some level only. They don't give a permanent solutions for the problems of life. We should not say they are all bogus. If it's not actually correct. They are, otherwise not so many people will go. They are getting something, that's why they are going. We should know what they are getting. And then we will be clear. When even devotees also do pranayama and other things, that is, it's going to help because it helps to calm the mind. That's why. Therefore, out of thousands and thousands of men, one may inquire about his spirit self and thus consult the revealed scriptures like Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. But in spite of reading and hearing scriptures, unless one is in touch with a realized spiritual master. So this is the point. Many people read Bhagavad Gita. They don't even conclude. Prabhupada says they don't even understand Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very unfortunate situation. They read Bhagavad Gita. They don't understand only. Because they didn't hear from the right source. That is the point. Bhagavatam many people read, but they don't understand who is Krishna only. They start questioning Krishna after reading Bhagavatam. They say, how can Krishna do this? How can Krishna do this? And then what did you understand? You didn't understand only. That's why you had to read first 9 cantos thoroughly to understand what is 10. That is what Prabhupada said. They cannot understand unless they are in touch with a spiritually realized spiritual master. He cannot actually realize the real nature of self. And out of thousands and thousands of men, someone may know about Krishna is in fact. What Krishna is in fact. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that Lord Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, prepared the Vedic literature in the incarnation of Vyasadeva for reading by the intelligent class of men in a human society which is almost totally forgetful of genuine relation with Krishna. Even such an intelligent class of men may be forgetful in their relationship with the Lord. The whole Bhakti Yoga process, therefore, is a revival of the lost relation. This revival is possible in human form of life, which is obtained only rarely in evolutionary cycle of 84 lakh species. So afternoon 4 to 5, we are having Janmashtami sessions. Somebody is interested, they can join. Today also we have. There is another group we created. If somebody is interested, they can send the number. I will add in the group. We will be having in a different Zoom ID. 4 to 5 till Janmashtami, we are having some extra. We want to, because 10th canto, by the time we reach 10th canto, Krishna Leela, of course, afternoon they are going, but some more things we can discuss on Janmashtami. If somebody is interested, please let us know. Oh, there are some questions. Yeah, doshas also come from karma, bad karma. And even we see devotees who are initiated are not serious, but all their sadhana is aimed about material gain, like children, marriage. Yes, because they didn't have Shastra Shraddha. They are not reading Shastra properly. That's why they didn't hear the Shastra from right source. That is also another problem. There is a question. I objected one of my devotee friend who had put her status where the person was glorifying Bhaktivinoda Thakur and said we do not need to hear his glories from the when we are putting it in our status. That means people who hear his classes, not Bhaktivinoda, who hear his classes. I didn't understand. Nateshwari Mataji. Uh, we can put status of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That's not a problem because we can hear from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I didn't understand the question. Once we have accepted Guru, how can a person change to go to different sampradaya? Yeah, that is that is common because they didn't develop that faith on that person. That's why they go to different. Even after proper disciples, also they left. They went. What to speak of others? Because they didn't. That's what na. They are on an emotional and mental level only. They didn't come to a buddhi level. When you come to level of buddhi, then you will not go anywhere. That's why we need to. We need to hear Shastra very nicely. If we hear Shastra nicely, then we don't go to any other place. We understand. Buddhi is every day. We have to clean our buddhi by regularly hearing. You can send me at this number. This is the number you can post your messages also, and I will add in the group, or in the chat box also you post. I will add in the group for Janmashtami lectures which we are discussing. This is the point I wanted to share, that we can hear from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but we should not hear from others. And people, if they are not hearing Shastra properly, finish. After so many years, they may change, and we should understand they didn't understand properly. That's all, very simple. And we have such nice explanations for our questions and our philosophy when we are establishing Krishna, why Radha Krishna, why Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everything is so clear. Why we need to go to some other place? If we are not getting answers for our questions, then there is. Uh, you can send me your numbers. Message me on my mobile number, which I posted in chat, or you can send me your mobile number. I'll add because I cannot add otherwise. I don't know your numbers, so. Yeah. Mimam Manishinam person like Maharaj Parikshit must therefore take to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and fully engage him in the devotional service of hearing and chanting the holy name and pastimes of the Lord, which are all Hari Kathamritam. This action is especially recommended one who is preparing for death. That means all of us. Now here comes the list. One who desires to be absorbed in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti effulgence should worship the master of Vedas, Lord Brahma or Brihaspati. So the first list starts from Brahmaji or Brihaspati. One who desires powerful sex should worship the heavenly king Indra. One who desires good progeny should worship the great personalities like Prajapati. One who desires good fortune should worship Durga Devi, the superintendent of material world. One who desires to be very powerful should worship fire. One who aspires only after money should worship Vasus. One should worship Rudra, incarnation of Lord Shiva, if you want to be a great hero. One who wants a large stock of grain should worship Aditi. I think if you worship Krishna, you are not going to get any of these things. Then what is the point in worshipping Krishna? That is why we need to know that these things are not for becoming happy. These things are to enjoy in this world. For becoming happy, only Krishna. Why? He will purify the heart. One who desires to attain the heavenly planet should worship the sons of Aditi. One who desires to worship, desires a worldly kingdom should worship Vishwadeva. And one who wants to be popular with general mass of population should worship Sadhya demigods. One who desires a long span of life should worship the demigods like Ashwini Kumaras. And a person desiring a strong built body should worship the earth. One who desires stability in his post should worship the horizon and the earth combined. One who desires to be beautiful should worship the beautiful residents of Gandharva planet, and who desires a good wife should worship the Apsaras and Urosi society girls of the heavenly kingdom. One who desires domination over others should worship Lord Brahma, the head of the universe. One who desires tangible fame should worship the personality of Godhead, and one who desires a good bank balance. Everybody here. One who desires a good bank balance should worship demigod Varuda. If one desires to be a greatly learned man, he should worship Lord Shiva. And if one desires a good material relation, he should worship the chaste goddesses Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva. Now, I don't know, Prabhupada might have missed some translations because they don't take it so seriously. Kosha Kamala is bank balance. Prabhupada writes nicely. There are different modes of worship for different persons desiring success in particular subject. The conditioned soul living within the pure purview of material world cannot be an expert in every type of materially enjoyable asset. But one can have considerable influence over a particular matter by worshipping a particular demigod, as mentioned above. Ravana was made a very powerful man by worshipping Lord Shiva, and he used to offer severed heads to please Lord Shiva. He became so powerful by the grace of Lord Shiva that all the demigods were afraid of him until he at last challenged the personality of Godhead Sri Ramchandra and thus ruined himself. In other words, all such powerful persons who aspire after gaining some of or all material objects of enjoyment or the gross materialistic persons are on the whole less intelligent. See, this is what is Prabhupada's opinion. If you go for all this list, we are less intelligent. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.20, it is said that that those who are bereft of all good senses are those whose intelligence is withdrawn by the deluding energy of Maya, aspires to achieve all sorts of material enjoyment in this life by pleasing various demigods or by advancing in material civilization under the heading of scientific progress. The real problem of life in the metal world is to solve the question of birth, death, old age, and disease. This is what he says. And Prabhupada writes, death is inevitable for everyone, intelligent or foolish, but Parikshit Maharaj had been addressed by Goswami as the Manishi, or the man of highly developed mind, because at the time of death he left all material enjoyment and completely surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord by hearing his message from the right person. Sukadeva Goswami, but aspiring for material enjoyment by endeavoring persons like, see, Sukadeva Goswami, as soon as he's born, he just left to the forest. He could have enjoyed so many heavenly pleasures because he is such a powerful yogi. He could have easily traveled, but he did not do it. Why? Because he is intelligent. That's all. Such aspirations are something like the intoxication of a degraded man, degraded human society. Intelligent person should try to avoid these aspirations, seek instead a permanent life by returning home back to God. And he says one should worship Lord Vishnu or his devotee for spiritual advancement in life. That is what is. And for protection of hereditary and advancement of dynasty, one should worship various demigods. The path of religion entitled Making Progress on the Path of Spiritual Advancement, ultimately reviving the eternal relationship with Lord Vishnu and his impersonal effulgence, is localized Paramatma feature and ultimately is personal feature by spiritual advancement in knowledge. And one who wants to establish a good dynasty and be happy in the progress temporarily body relation should take shelter of the pitas and the demigods in their pious lands. Such different class of demigod worship or different demigods may ultimately reach the respective planet of those demigods within the universe, but he who reaches the spiritual planet in the Brahmajyoti achieves the highest perfection. And then some more list is there, not yet finished. One who desires domination over kingdom or an empire should worship Manus. One who desires victory over enemy should worship the demons. Even they have power. One who desires sense gratification should worship moon. But one who desires nothing of this material world should worship the personality of God. It is so akama purusham param. Actually, here in this list, Prabhupada is writing that who are desiring some things. Persoma, demigod is there. Kama, desiring sense gratification, and then, but akama purusha param. That is what is Prabhupada is interested. He does not speak of other things. So, Rajya kama manu devan ritam tva abhicharan yajet. And kama kamo yajet soma. For a liberated person, all the enjoyments listed above are considered to be absolutely useless. Only those who are conditioned. For us also, no, it is not. I am speaking. If they are given to me, I may also fall to such temptations very easily. I am not in that very elevated state. That is the reason we have to avoid them. And one good thing is we are not so strong that is why we should not go for these things. If we hear so much about this appreciation, there is always a temptation. So now we may not have, because everything is fine, sun is rising, everything is cool and fine in the life, then we may not do it. But when people go through very severe crisis, that is the time these things will affect. We say, so much problems are coming. Can we not worship Lord Shiva? Get this situation, get rid of this situation. Let me not worship to destroy my enemies. They are giving really so much trouble. Like you go to Nambudri Brahmanas, there will be what you call this in Kerala. You have these huts. There, the outside, these are called Kuti Chakas. In Kerala, you go to Kuti Chakas. In Kuti Chaka, outside one list will be there. If you want to get money, if you want to destroy your enemy, if you want to damage this, and the charges they write in the outside. And they are really powerful people, these Kuti Chakas. They are all Nambutiri Brahmanas will be there. And they have all these magic spirits and all. If you want to get your things done, you go to them, pay the money, and they will do it. And they are having a list also outside. What you want to do. If we stand in front of that kuti chaka, we will also be tempted. Go inside. Arey, my my boss is giving so much trouble. My these things are problems. So let me just pay some 5,000 and get rid of all these things. We will definitely get tempted. But we have to come to our senses. No. Bhagavatam, Krishna. That's why we have to keep away from such association. Prabhupada says only those who are conditioned by the material. It should not happen that after the class you should not get tempted to go to Kutichikas. But I am telling that is for less intelligent. The point is, if we go, we'll get attracted. That's why I'm telling we should avoid only, because we are not so strong. It is, we should not trust on our intelligence, our buddhi. It will definitely get tempted. We should avoid only. That's the reason. I say, oh, I will see whether I am strong or not. If you go and try, you will. Of course, Krishna will forgive, but still, why we should take chance? Only those who are conditioned by the material modes of external energy are captivated by different types of material enjoyment. In other words, the transcendentalists have no material desires to be fulfilled, whereas the materialistic has all types of desires to be fulfilled. The Lord has proclaimed that the materialists who desire material enjoyment and thus seek the favor of different demigods, as mentioned above, are not in control of their senses and so give themselves to nonsense. So this is actually Prabhupada selling. This is the point. One should therefore not desire any sort of material enjoyment, being sensible enough to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The leaders of nonsensical persons are still more nonsensical because they preach openly and foolishly that one can enjoy and one can worship any form of demigod and get the same result. This sort of preaching is not only against the teaching of Bhagavad Gita or those of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but is also foolish, just as it is foolish to claim that with the purchase of any travel ticket one may reach the same destination. No one can reach Bombay from Delhi by purchasing a ticket for Baroda. It is clearly defined herein that persons impregnated with different desires have different modes of worship. But one who has no desire for material enjoyment should worship the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. And this worshipping process is called devotional service. Pure devotional service means service to the Lord without any tinge of material desires, including the desires of our fruitive activity and empiric speculations. For fulfillment of material desires, one may worship the Supreme Lord, but the result of such worship is different, as will be explained in the next verse. Generally, the Lord does not fulfill anyone's material desires for sense enjoyment, but he awards such benedictions to worshippers of the Lord, or they ultimately come to the point of not desiring material enjoyment. The conclusion is that one must minimize the desire for material enjoyment, and for this, one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is the famous verse. Akama sarvakamo va mokshakam udharati tivrena bhakti yogena ijeta purushaparam. We can ask Krishna for family welfare. We can ask. This is the shloka it is telling. You can ask Krishna anything, no problem. Whether Krishna gives or not, it is up to Krishna. But there is no problem in asking. Any small thing you can ask. Even if stomach is not cleared, Radhanath Maharaj says, you can ask Krishna that also. Let my stomach get free. Not a problem. We can ask Krishna anything. But ask only Krishna. That is the important point this shloka tells. You have akama, sarvakama, mokshakama. Only go to Krishna. Don't go to anybody. Even for small things. If you are while cooking, you think that Krishna, it should get cooked in 2 minutes. Whistles are not coming for your cooker. You can pray to Krishna. Let it happen fast. Anything we can pray to Krishna, but only Krishna. That is the point. That is chastity. Krishna, see, from childhood I came to you only. For everything I am coming to you, so I am under you only, and you should take care of me. And then we can question Krishna also. I didn't go to anybody. So at the end of life, I'll come to you only. I will not go to anyone because I have right to ask now. Because from childhood, I never went to anybody. At the end of death also, I'll come to you only. For every small thing I asked. For uh, getting good sleep also, for this also, that also. Anything you ask Krishna, that is not a problem. Yeah, only one shelter, Krishna. That's all. When whatever you ask for Krishna, for even small things also, it is safe. And then that will help us to have that relationship with Krishna. That is how we are related. Some people feel, "Arey, why to trouble Krishna?" They may not ask. But some people say, "But where can I go?" I'll ask him only. So both moods are correct. Some people ask, some people don't ask, but both their moods are correct because Krishna is still. A person who has broad intelligence, whether he be full of all material desires, without any material desires, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. This is very nice understanding. And Prabhupada writes, Akama is one who has no material desires. A living being naturally being part and parcel of Supreme Lord, Purusham Param, has as his natural functions to serve the Supreme Being, just as part and parcel of Lord or the limbs of the body are naturally meant to serve the complete body. Desirelessness means therefore not to be inert like the stone, but to be conscious of one's actual position and that desire the satisfaction only for the Supreme Lord. This is the point. We can go for anything only to Krishna. For any small things, for if you are uh, if you are want to you are getting late and you want to pray to Krishna, you can pray to Krishna. Because we can now that will help us to feel the presence of Krishna all the time. That is advantage also. Some simple people, for every small thing they pray to Krishna. Take care. But treat him as a person. That is more important. Don't treat him as a person who just fulfills. You do something for him also. You chant for him. You read for him. You do something for him and then ask him. Not a problem. Jiva Goswami has explained this desirelessness as Bhajaniya Param Purusham Sukham Matra Sukhatvam in his Sandarbha. This means that one should feel happy only by experiencing the happiness of the Supreme Lord. This intuition of living being is sometimes manifested even during the conditioned state of living being in the material world, and such intuition is expressed in the manner of altruism, philanthropy, socialism, communism, etc. by undeveloped minds of less intelligent persons. So all these things are undeveloped minds. In the mundane field, such a outlook of doing good to others in the form of society, community, family, country, or humanity is a partial manifestation of some same original feeling in which a pure living entity feels happiness by happiness of the Supreme Lord. So in this altruism, social and communism, people want to serve others. But here we want to serve the Supreme Lord. Such superb feelings are exhibited by the dances of Brajabhumi for the happiness of the Lord. The gopis loved the Lord without any return, and this is the perfect exhibition of Kama spirit. The Kama spirit, or the desire for one's own satisfaction, is fully exhibited in the material world, whereas the spirit of Akama is fully exhibited in the spiritual world. Yes. And here, through the thoughts of becoming one with the Lord or being merged in Brahmajyoti can also be exhibited by the Kama spirit. That is also a desire. A pure devotee does not want it. And he says, even without so-called liberation, a pure devotee aspires for satisfaction of the Lord. Influenced by the Kama spirit, Arjuna declined to fight in the Kurukshetra battle because he wanted to save his relatives for his own satisfaction. But being a pure devotee, he agreed to fight on the instructions Lord. He came to his senses and realized that satisfaction of Lord at the cost of his own satisfaction were his prime duty. This is Akama. So Udharathi is, they are very generous people. Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments? This Prabhupada, right? This implies that bhakti yoga may be perfectly administered without any mixture of karma and jnana, as the unmixed sun rays are very forceful and are therefore called tibra. Similarly, unmixed bhakti yoga of hearing, chanting, etc. may be performed by one and all regardless of inner motive. Etavanyeva yajataam iha nishreyashodhayah bhava bhagavatya achalo bhavo yad bhagavata sanjata. Okay, this is, we'll do it tomorrow. Thank you all very much. Any comments, questions? Hare Krishna. We'll meet. Okay. Srinivas Gopal Prabhu.
Prabhuji, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just want to know some thing. Maybe I repeatedly hear this one, but I was in doubt. Like when we say the soul is not affected by the actions done by the body, or sufferings, or happiness, or it is not affected. What is that actually meaning of that?
Yeah, how it means is because we identify with the body and mind so much, that's why we get affected. So the example is given, one of the example, many ways you can understand. One example is, say somebody is in the theater and is watching the movie, and now he gets so much engrossed in watching the movie and he start identifying with the characters. Now when the character in the movie is happy or distressed or in whatever state, then he also starts experiencing emotions. As such, nothing is happening there, it's only black and white colors or whatever colors that are happening on the screen. Nothing is happening to him, it is happening to the characters. But to the degree you identify, to that degree you get affected. Similarly, the soul as such, it does not get affected. There is no karma also, only for soul. But because it strongly identifies with the subtle body and gross body, anything happens to subtle body and gross body, it starts feeling that pain. Hey, why this is happening to me? Because if I am seeing the image mirror, I am seeing my face. If I so much identify with this body, then we are definitely going to get affected. But if somebody is completely aloof, he understands that, okay, this body is just a covering to me, this subtle body and gross body are covering to me, I have nothing to do with, then he's not affected. Otherwise he's so much affected. Clear, bro?
Prabhuji, this understood, Prabhuji, this here. But when the body is like, if you put your hand in the fire, or cold, or this thing, who is feeling? The body is not feeling anything. The body is a matter. It doesn't feel the hot or the cold or anything. It is the we mind or intelligence, we recognize it is hot, it will burn, or the suffering is coming. So who is feeling? The body is not feeling.
No, body gets pain, mind also gets pain. This is a very special mechanism that Lord has created. This pain is something very special. Even scientists also could not understand what is this mechanism of pain. Like if you have some burning or somebody hits, there is a physical pain, and there is mental pain also. If somebody breaks the heart, there is the pain at the mental level also, and an emotional level also. Now this is what is happening. What happens is there is some special abilities within the body and mind which will make them act little independently. Like mind, it can act little independently. It gets programmed and it starts acting and starts feeling, and soul is observing it and start getting affected. Like now, what are you going to like when you go to the market, you go to the big bazaar, what are you going to purchase is already programmed for you based on your vasanas and samskaras. So mind is already programmed. Your body will also get attracted to, eyes will get attracted to certain things. Emotionally, you may get attracted to certain advertisements or some things. If you are very sattvic person, you will go to sattvic things, and you will take such items only, vegetables, fruits, and some things. That means that is the programming that happened to our gross and subtle body, and it is getting affected for it also. Soul is only observing this programming that is happening to our body and mind. Your body is programmed, it will act like that. The way we sit, the way we talk, the way we look at things, the body is programmed. And then the soul, the subtle body is also programmed like that. The subtle body also has certain emotions. If internet is given to use to open, based on my state of mind, I am going to open such videos and see. That means it is not the soul doing, it's already the programmed machine. Our body, subtle body, gross body are a programmed machine. This machine is performing the activity on its own. Prakrite kriyamanani. It is done because of prakriti. Ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. Because we identify this ahankara is what is holding us to this identity, which will hold us. We'll say, yes, this is me. This programming is mine. This program, this what I did is I only did it. So such identification is because of ahankara. So all these are missions acting on their own, acting based on the karma, based on the impressions, and we are given such bodies, but the identification is very strong. So three examples are given, like the reflection of a moon. If moon is in the water is moving, it looks like the moon is also moving. Similarly, anything happens to it, we also get affected like that. And when a person is going in a boat, he sees the land is moving. No, land is not moving like that. So some three examples are given like that. Yes,
Okay, Prabhuji. Now, Prabhuji, then where does this gunas comes here?
Yes, one. Arvind Rao. Gunas Pro, based on gunas only our action happens. Because the programming is because of these gunas only. Three gunas are only acting. Now, Satoguna in the morning time we act in a particular way, and Rajoguna in a particular way if we are affected by Tamoguna particular. So these gunas are only what they are acting. It's not everything is gunas only, bro. Our body, no, it's full of gunas only. The Panchamahabhutas which you have is because of ahankara, tamoguna. Manas is ahankara, satoguna, buddhi is ahankara, rajoguna. So all the elements which you are seeing around, it's all gunas only. All the places in these cities are passionate, villages are little sattvic, and some places brothel they're tamasic. The whole creation is only three modes only, and three modes are only acting different permutations and combinations. And that's a fight between modes. If Satoguna is increasing, the Satoguna people will be successful. Rajoguna and Tamoguna is present age of Kali, so they are on the top. It's like that. It's all modes of material nature only. Anything. If you open internet, it's all passionate. It's all Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Prabhupada went to America. What he saw? He just says this is Rajas Tamo Bhave. It's all Rajoguna and Tamoguna only. That's what Prabhupada saw when he first saw Boston city. It's all gunas only. Of course, that's a big topic, but basically this is the understanding.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Champaklatam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so much for the nice class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have, an idea about one particular family. In fact, one devotee who has been doing very, very well in devotional life, in the sense all the projects are becoming successful. That devotee is in leadership role, doing very well. But personal life, actually, that devotee has got a son who gives mighty trouble to that particular devotee, in the sense all the time accusing, abusing, or holding the devotee responsible for what the devotee has not done. So it's like, and I always see that devotee suffering. So how should we understand this as Krishna's mercy, or some past karma? Uh, so, and what should the devotee be doing, Prabhuji, um, to
King
mend that
Vena
situation
got
at home?
King Anga got Vena as the son, and he understood. He says, "Oh, it's a mercy of the Lord if you get a good child. And then he says, it's much more greater mercy of the Lord if you get a bad child, because you'll be detached from this metal world, and then he leaves this world and takes sannyas and go to the forest and he perfects his life. Of course, Bhagavatam gives such incident, but in this case, he can understand that yes, this is Krishna's arrangement, that he is having such, and what he should learn is selflessness. He should know that I have to learn how to be selflessly serving this person whom Krishna gave me, and learn the selfless service. But what happens is, why the pain comes now, only expectation is there, then only you feel suffer. If you don't expect, nobody can make you suffer. Our suffering is our own expectations. If I don't expect from anything, anyone, I just keep serving, then whatever the person performs, whatever he does, is not going to affect us much. We say, okay, this is his way of doing things. Like I have one friend who does some social works and all. He is just becoming devotee. But when he just attended some session, second canto, I told, see, people work according to their swabhava and all. It was so clear for him. And he become very peaceful now. He says, Prabhuji, I understand now. Everybody has conditioned and they act according to their conditioning. We cannot expect them to do anything better than this. And they are acting according to their condition. We just have to accept the people what they are. If he's not accepting and expecting and something else, then there is a problem. And why the son is blaming, he should question himself, that maybe I had to change the way I am dealing with him. Then he may, of course, sometimes Krishna's arrangement also, but many times it's the way we are dealing with the opposite person, he also responds to it. Is really very demonic, then we cannot do. But otherwise, many times the problem is the way we are dealing. If we change the way we are dealing, don't expect anything, just keep serving. And another is you to communicate. If he is having any problem, no, he should ask why his son is feeling like this. He should communicate, and that is another way, very mature way of dealing is, you have any issue with anyone, no, you just sit with him and communicate. You just tell this is what you are, and you try to understand why that person is behaving in that way. Then things will be very clear. If you don't communicate, then you assume something, he assumes something, and this misunderstanding will continue. And then there is problem all the time. You just have
Yeah,
to
it's
sit and
actually some pent-up emotions of the son, and that's why the son keeps blaming that person. Actually, poor thing. It's very painful that the relatives of the son also keep blaming this devotee. It's so painful actually to see, because oftentimes I find that the devotee is innocent and being manipulated, but he can't do anything.
you just have to surrender to Krishna, says Krishna. And if he chants morning sincerely, pray to Krishna, Krishna will give intelligence.
Okay.
That
Okay,
is the
Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
thank you. Yes, Kalpana Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Pranashmi. Thank you for very satisfying answers, Prabhuji. It's very convincing, and it's appealing and very satisfying. Thank you, Prabhuji. I have few questions, Prabhuji. Uh, I just heard from one of our senior devotee, like how do we understand the role of our karma, and how do we understand that Krishna utilizes as an instrument to purify someone? Like a senior, suppose if I take in that example, I'm putting myself on that. Suppose if I get angry, the opposite person is a devotee, and to correct his mistake, Krishna is using me as an instrument, or am I acting out of my own modes of nature? How should we differentiate? And how are we supposed to react? Even if I understand, okay, Krishna is utilizing me as an instrument, how are we supposed to deal with that devotee at that time? It is out of my instinct, out of ignorance I reacted, or it is Krishna is using me as an instrument. How are we supposed to handle that situation?
We should not become Krishna's instrument for doing wrong things. Like wrong things means to purify somebody, Krishna should not utilize us. That is not actually very safe. It will be offense if we are becoming angry, or it may, many times it may, because if they are not under us, like you are not the counselor for that boy or girl, or you are not a father or mother, In that situation, if we are giving some correction to the people who are not under a subordinate, means that person should accept as a superior, and then we are in a role like a guru or some superior. He has accepted. That time we can correct him, we can become angry. But otherwise, it is not very safe. We have to control our emotions, and we have to try to uh, try to be as much polite as possible, and we should see that we are not offending. We should not become instrument for such activities. We should become activities for compassion only, like you want to give something and you want to accept something. In that sense only we should take. If they are not under us, there is no point in giving corrections. It is, we should not become angry and become instrument for their they are doing wrong, let me become instrument of Krishna and correct them. It is not safe, because that person, instead of taking it positively, if he becomes negative and he goes away from Krishna, it is more risky. If he has faith on you and he's taking it positively and it is making him becoming more enthusiastic in bhakti and all, then it is safe. Otherwise, most of the time they go negative, then it is what is the purpose of our doing that activity? It's not a service, it becomes a disservice. And many times it happens. Many of the managers, they unnecessarily shout and all, and they put off the practice. Then the devotee says, no, I want to give this, and he may go away from Krishna consciousness. So what is the point? You have not helped him. We want to help the person. To help the person, we have to speak in such a way it is helping them to come closer to Krishna. Anyway, if you are helping anybody to come closer to Krishna, even we should not make them envious of us. We should not bring their negative qualities because of our behavior. Say if I am behaving in particular way, the devotee is becoming more and more envious. The devotee is becoming irritated, angry. That is also bad for us. Because why we have to make him go away from Krishna? So we behave in such a way that the best of the other person should come out instead of the worst thing coming from him. That is how we have to serve that person. He should bring his best qualities when he is interacting with us in whatever situation. And this happened also many times with me. I try to bring the worst from the other person because of my behavior. Then I understood, oh, even though I am right, but my being right does not make any sense, because the person is behaving, going away from Krishna. So let me behave in such a way, a little more mature way, so that he does not bring his worst out of him. Even though I am doing right, my decisions are right and all, but the other person should not go away to Krishna. Clear, Mataji?
Prabhuji, this I understood, Prabhuji. Now you are telling me, putting, my position, like if I'm reacting out of my this thing, I want to understand that how do we get that. I'm putting an example. Actually, this happened with one of the senior devotee who is a Siksha Guru of another devotee, and the other devotee has taken in a right aspect because they have accepted as a Siksha Guru. But how in that position they understand that Krishna has used them as an instrument. Like I reacted, why Krishna is utilizing me as an instrument in correcting someone? I'm feeling guilt out of it. And how do we understand that? How do we come to that level whether Krishna is utilizing me as an
If you
instrument?
are consciously doing, then you are utilizing. If you are not consciously doing, then it is not utilizing. We are just going with modes. Now, like say, some devotee came and he didn't behave properly, and I am full control, full conscious, and I am becoming angry. I know if I become angry, if I show anger, this person will change. Like somebody comes and no, he's so much with social media and all, and he has some faith on me, then I become angry. Right now you have to delete it. Otherwise I am not going to. I become little heavy on him, but I am in full control of myself and I am consciously doing, then that is not a problem. But is unconsciously I am just carried away by modes and doing, it is not good for us.
Okay, Prabhuji, got it. Prabhuji, one more thing is this. We had a question in our Bhakti Liksha actually. As we discussed about the karma and all, how it has been carried. If the child does anything, does that karma react to his parent also?
No.
No, no, Prabhuji. Then one more thing is how people keep all these things for long life for their husband and all, like Vrata Purnima or whatever that were Varalakshmi or Karwa Chauth and all these things they're doing. How do we reconcile on those aspects, Prabhuji, who are just new to bhakti or just on the karmic path?
You don't stop them doing, let them do it. It is right only for them, and that is right thing they are doing. They have to do it because that will help them to come to dharmic level, which is very helpful for them to go further to a spiritual level. It is right only, and they can do it.
Okay,
Don't
we can tell
discourage
them
them.
that it is right, and the final, because we were talking about the final sanctioning being done by Krishna for giving long life to the husband. So how are we supposed to connect to them? Like to let them continue worshipping the demigods for their long life, or
Yeah, let them continue because until they develop that faith that I can just chant Hare Krishna also, that will do. Till that
Okay.
time they have to do it. Don't stop. It will become problematic later on. They should themselves feel, maybe instead of Karwa Chauth, I can chant 64 rounds for my husband. It is
for my
more
husband.
powerful.
Okay, Prabhuji, got it. Got it. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Anybody?